This is Nyeshi Christel. This is my audience for Speech Fall 01, Summer 2015.
Today I will discuss the issues with adjudicating youthful offenders as adults and the complications with the juvenile process. Moreover, the issues that are when the proper channels aren't being followed and the children are thrown into the judicial system without prevention methods. So we are looking at juvenile offenders. Did you know that it is a statistic fact that children between the ages of 14 years old and 17 years old are more likely to become violent offenders and to become reoffenders? That is a fact. Moreover, there is also an increase in the percentage. Over the past 10 years, there has been a 90% change in the juvenile offender rate. 10% has been remanded to the juvenile district court, while the other 90% has been adjudicated and placed in whatever the county jail is for that state. In our case, it would be Tulsa County Jail. When I was a juvenile, and I kind of met a guy, he was older than I. My mom she was away, so I kind of dated him off and on. Well, I had a couple officers who cared a lot about me. They wanted me to succeed, regardless of what my situation was. They always told me I was special to them. Well, that special came with a punishment, because that special would get me placed into the juvenile detention center. Well, that was back in 97, 98. Now, that's not the case anymore. Now they want the children to offend in order to even get preventive services. You can't get a referral. You can't get help. You can't call the juvenile and say, hey, I just need help with my child. They want the child to actually commit an act to break state, city, or federal laws before they step in and intervene. Now, if your child is a runaway, something like that, or maybe they don't want to go to school, you have someone in the middle that kind of mediates and intervenes just a little bit. But that's not good enough, because we still have that big old large number out there, the 90%. Now, these 90% are housed with adults. They're just not able to interact with the adults. So a child that's 13 years old might be housed with adults. However, they're placed on lockdown in a cell, a 3x5 cell, for 23 hours a day. They get out for 1 hour, and during that 1 hour, they have to use the phone, take a shower, and watch TV. So you have to decide as a child already what you want to do during that time, because 9 out of 10, you're not going to have enough time to do it all. Then they're placed back into the cell. Once the child is sent off to the adult prisons, they're still kind of locked down, depending on the child's age, until they reach the age of 18. How is it fair? I don't know. I can't answer that. I really don't see that it would be fair or beneficial to charge a child as an adult, house them with an adult, and then set them with an adult when they turn of age, which is 18. That tells me in itself that that child wasn't ready to even be sentenced as an adult. But now we're looking at the precautions and what we're doing to prevent and the methods that's being used. No one's taking a look at the children's mental status, what's been happening in their background, if they were abandoned, if they were molested as a child, if they have mental disorders going on. No one's paying attention to any of that. There's more than just drug abuse out here. There's a lot that's psychological, but there's not a lot of help for them until it reaches a certain stage of beyond. Yes, it can be addressed while they're in adult penitentiary, but it's not going to be addressed. Then you have to look at the educational needs. Is educational needs really going to be met to the standard of if they were going to a regular school. Also, the mindset of a juvenile offender, even though they might be 16 years of age, is their mentality on a 16-year-old level, or is it on a 5-year-old level? We have to take into consideration the child's mentality as well, which I don't think that it's been taken into account when a judge or district attorney is referring a child to the Tulsa County Jail or Tulsa County District Courthouse. I don't feel like it's being taken to heart like it should. We need to, as citizens and just as peers, as mentors, we need to be able to look at our children and help them and see what the underlying cause is. Because all we're doing is placing them in a situation that could possibly be harsher than where they came from, and because they've never actually been in that situation, they are now caused to protect themselves. Since they're caused to protect themselves, they are learning how to use knives, how to fight, how to make weapons. They're learning more violent behavior than what we even want them to learn. So now that they're learning that violent behavior, who's at risk? Our citizens are at risk. Why should we place our citizens at risk that's here when we can help them to not reoffend? So I think, and from what I know, I actually spoke with a juvenile detention counselor, Tiffany Brown, and she said, you know, we need more programs for our youthful offenders. There's not enough programs. If we can get them in programs, and if we can actually get, you know, these mentors that we have to be a part, and if they change the law where we can continue to step in, then we can evaluate each case more properly. Juvenile adjudication should be banned until, at least until, you know, a solution is made and the district court for the juvenile offenders follow chain of command. If they follow chain of command, they follow policy, and once they've tried all avenues and nothing works, then you can try adjudication. But right now, it's not in the best interest of the child. It's not in the best interest of the parent or the judge or our society. We look at our society as a whole and we wonder, what is it that we can change? What is it that we can do? And then we're back to the same question all over again. According to recent research studies, many experts believe children shouldn't be punished in the same manner as adults. Amy Miller, 2000. At what point is the criteria really met to where you certify a child as an adult? Have you sent them through the necessary testing and before it's even time? Well, a lot of information that I've been able to get from experts and the research that has been proven actually came from easyproxy.connerstate.edu. Also, it came from search.proquest.com. And you can look on these sites to find out more information, but even in the state of Chicago, Illinois, it's been an issue with juvenile offenders not having enough resources and no one not stepping up to help these children. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of background and information about why some of these behaviors may occur from these children. And we have to always take into account what a child may have been through. Not what they may not have been through. What have they been through? What can we do to help them fix it? So you always just want to take a good deep look inside the situation. We don't want the statistics to keep growing and growing, and it grow from 90% to 100%, and it take that other 10% from the juvenile district court to 100% in the juvenile, the Tulsa County District Court. We don't want to do that. So we never want to increase the numbers. We want to decrease them. So if we can just work together, this is a lot of information for you to take in, but we don't want to keep sending, juvenile offenders to an adult prison and not providing them the help that they need. Getting information